Hello and Happy New Year to everybody. I hope you're finally seeing 2020. I'm not Barbara Walters, but I will be your host for a recap of the worst ride I have had in 10,000 plus rides on Lyft. I had one really bad one back in 2015 when I first started around the holidays, but this takes the cake. So, I want to first start by saying that I know a lot of bartenders in Boys Town. A lot! And I know tons of drag queens. So, I go through my social media feed and, it's kind of amusing when I'm picking up in Boys Town and it's people that, oh, I've seen you tagged in my friend's photos. That's kind of small world. But when I get a bartender who orders a ride for a rider to send them home because they're an employee and they've had a long night, and the ride goes horribly wrong, you start to ask the other bartenders in Boys Town, hey, do you know somebody by this first name? And all of a sudden, they're all sending you the same screenshot of the same profile, and you look and see what's the public stuff, because every bartender promotes, hey, come see me at such and such bar, serving tonight from whatever to whatever. So they have a lot of public posts with their pictures, plus patrons tag them. So I try to make it a point to not ever discover my passengers on social media. I've had some repeats. I've even had some randomly just be suggested friends. But I digress. So this particular rider tonight, about 3 a.m.-ish, the late night bars were going to close at 4. And I pull up and, send the message, hi, I'm your driver, Brian. I'm in, this is my car. And I'm waiting, and the timer's running out. And all of a sudden, I see a security guy coming. I'm thinking, all right, he's going to make me move. I'm kind of double parked and blocking, a little bit of the bike lane. And he comes up, and, I roll the window down. I'm like, do I need to move? And he goes, no, are you Brian? Well, yeah. And then right behind him is a guy with no shirt on. And it was 25 degrees. And my first thought is, oh, this bitch. This is going to be a hot mess. So he comes up, he opens the door, he goes, hi, I'm, and he says his name. Now, I'm not going to call him out on a video that's going to be public, because I know that I have friends and followers who are also bartenders and know that, there's a possibility I may be talking about them or someone they work with or work across the street from, especially when it's a late night bar. So, as you get more details without being specific, those of you who work in Boys Town, you may be able to figure out which bar and then ask which person sent this passenger in my car this late Christmas gift that makes me feel like I should have a damn Me Too and, sue this rider like he's Harvey Weinstein. Because, yeah, it was bad. So behind this shirtless gentleman who was standing upright very well, not stumbling, but when I first see someone shirtless in 25 degree weather, my first thought is, ooh, he's really drunk. He's walking a straight line, so hey, I'm impressed. And he opens the door, says who he is, has the phone in his hand, and he's like, it's my account, but you're giving this person a ride home. They're our employee, and she's just had a long night, and she really just needs to get home. As she's arguing with him, but you don't know where I live, and he says the address. And she stands there for a minute and she goes, yeah, that's right. And then gets in the car and shuts the door and off we go. And about 3 blocks down, she's like, I don't feel well. Can you pull over? So I pull over. It's New Year's Eve. You know, I've had my fair share of vomit, you know, passengers. Like Shrek, better out than in, because if a single drop hits the inside of my car or on the outside of my car, I will submit for a cleaning fee. It's kind of like Prada shoes. It doesn't matter whether I take them off of you and puke inside of them or puke on the outside of them. They still cost a lot of money to be cleaned. And so I'm figuring, oh, great, here we go. 3 days in a row, 3 cleanup fees. It's getting a little old. So, pull over. She gets out of the back seat, jumps right into the front seat. Now, again, Lyft driver. We're not really supposed to say no. Sit wherever you're comfortable. Lyft started as your friend with a car. Sit in the front seat. You get to be the DJ, I'll be the driver. I'm your friend with a car. Okay, whatever. So she gets up front. And she's like, God, I'm so hungry. And I said, well, it's going to take about 20 minutes to get home. Pop open your Grubhub or DoorDash app and have the food meet us there. You know, because a lot of places don't seem to be open because, well, it's New Year's. Oh, well, that's fine. I got stuff at home. But can we stop at a liquor store? It's 3:30 in the morning. I doubt any liquor store is still selling alcohol. But I don't try to argue, and she's like giving very bad directions on which liquor store in which direction. Finally, it clicks in my head, having been around Boys Town for about 25 years. Yes, I'm that old. Shut the hell up. Especially since I'm only 29 years old. And it finally dawned on me, the liquor store, and I was like, oh, the one across from Cheesy's. Yeah. How do you know about Cheesy's? Because I know Boys Town and I know how to do my job because I'm a professional. And so we get there and we pull up and she's like sitting there rummaging through her purse, her bra, her shoulder pads. Like, you name it, she was digging like she was trying to get coins out of a couch. And she hands me $6. Asks me to go inside and get her a 5th of tequila and a bottle of pineapple juice. I'm like, that's not how this works. I'm the person who drives you from point A to point B. Now, if you need to stop at a C, okay. But I'm not going in there shopping for you while you sit in my car. Well, we could go in together, baby. Again, still not how this works. You are more than welcome to go in by yourself. Okay. Well, just take me home then. I kind of wanted to do that 15 minutes ago before you had me driving in circles around Boys Town because you couldn't figure out which street we were on. And almost caused me to have some close calls with some accidents. You know, with drunken people walking while I'm pulled over while you're trying to squint and read the road signs and figure out orientation of where we are. As you keep taking my phone off the mount, because yours is dead, to look up the liquor store that you know by its nickname of Thousand Liquors and not whatever the name is it's listed as. So now you're like interrupting the whole GPS. Lucky for me, I know that you are exactly 2 blocks from the city limits of Chicago and Evanston. And it is super easy. Get on Lakeshore Drive. Like, I knew where to go. I have dealt with that weird street because it is one of 2 streets in Chicago that does not have an east or west. Every street in Chicago has north, south, east, or west as part of the address. If you were to type 200 Randolph, you would end up in Oak Park. If you type 200 West Randolph, you end up downtown. For those of you who don't live in the city. And, okay, start taking her home. She starts grabbing my arm, my hand, petting my chest, talking about, so do you have a big bed? Excuse me, what? Well, you're taking me home, what do you want to do with me? No, ma'am, I'm taking you to your home. Oh, you're coming up with me? No, I'm just an Uber driver. Because that term is so generic at this point, I didn't even want her to remember Lyft. And keeps touching me. Please stop. What, you don't like me? No, ma'am, I'm married. Well, I'm Filipino and black. Does that turn you on? No, I'm gay. And again, still married. You're not presenting male. There's nothing about your physical appearance that could any way, shape, or form turn me on. Oh, you're racist. No, I'm married. Your race has nothing to do with it. Well, you're being transphobic. Again, still gay. Stop it, or I'll pull over and you can just get out at the next safest place I can pull over, and you can figure out how to get home the remainder of the way, because your phone's dead and someone else ordered the ride for you. Okay. So then she starts like humming some song to herself. Next thing I know, she's like searching YouTube, because now she's figured out that one of my phone chargers would charge her phone. And she snags it and plugs her phone in so that she can search YouTube. And, of course, the YouTube ad goes on. And she thinks her phone is connected to my stereo as she blows my eardrums out, thinking she's turning up some You Are Beautiful song by Beyonce, which is what I happened to glance over on her phone screen and see. So then, I pull over, I explain to her, ma'am, your phone's not connected to my car stereo. Only my phone is. I don't let anybody connect up to my car stereo because it's such a pain in the ass to get it unpaired and make my phone work again so that I can work and answer calls in a safe, legal way. So I turned my stereo off so that she could listen to her music after she had pretty much made me deaf in one ear. Goes back to touching me. Ma'am, please stop. Well, don't you like me? No, ma'am, I'm trying to keep it professional. Well, I'm the professional, that's why you're taking me home. Excuse me, what? Well, yeah, that's, people do. Now, while your brain processes that, I should rewind. Because when we were at the liquor store, she couldn't find her wallet because the bar had it to get her ID out to find her address. And she said the reason the bar had it is because she'd been kicked out for attempting to solicit prostitution in the bar, but kept talking about how she was a case manager. 2 blocks from her apartment, she chimes up about, well, you need to come up with me so I can give you that letter for your dog so that it can be certified. I don't know what the hell she's talking about. And I'm like, excuse me? Well, so that your landlord don't throw you out for having dogs. She apparently noticed the picture of my chihuahuas on my dashboard. Yeah, I own a house. I don't have a landlord. I just have a husband who doesn't do dishes without, like, threats of bodily harm to his iPhone. So now she's, like, got her hand on my leg. Move her hand away. Please stop. I have my hand on the gear shift, as we're pulling up. And she won't take her hand off my hand on the gear shift. She thinks that double parked in front of her building now is the parking spot that I have chosen for me to come up with her. No, that's not how this works. Were you going to give me a hug? No, I don't feel comfortable doing that. Well, what about a kiss on the cheek? Again, still married. Have a happy new year. See, all you fucking men treat me like shit and throw me away like I'm trash. Oh, baby, I am not getting into that psychoanalysis at 4 a.m. I just want to go get my next ride because Lyft has fucked up the entire algorithm and we're not getting paid shit. Get the hell out of my car. Well, let me find my keys. That took another 15 minutes, it felt like. I get another ride queued up. The ride is the next block over. I am actually sitting with this woman who still will not unhook my charging cable from her phone. She's insistent it's hers. Argued with me. I pointed at the dash cam and said, would you like me to rewind the video? And then finally, she shuts up. Unplugs it. Are you sure you're not coming up? Well, I can't park my car right here. So you wait for me in the doorway. I'll be right there as soon as I get a parking spot. Oh, okay. And out the door she goes. As she finally goes out the door, the passenger who was actually the block behind her has now walked all the way around the block to my car to ask me if I'm okay because I wasn't moving. She tried calling and it went to voicemail because, again, professional, I'm not going to take someone else's phone call while I have a customer right in front of me. Especially a customer who is making every excuse under the sun to get me in her apartment. Has argued with me at least 3 times during the course of what should have been a 20-minute trip that I'm going the wrong way. And then I would say the address and she'd pause and, oh yeah, that's right. At one point, I even told her the exact step-by-step driving directions to get there without looking at the GPS. She still, oh, okay. How do you know so much? Because again, I'm a professional. 10,312 rides, and this one took the cake. Legitimately would not get out of my car. Made me feel very uncomfortable. Made me feel very scared. Kept leaning up onto me. Touching me in very inappropriate ways. My issue I have legitimately is we are a service industry, much like bartenders. A bartender dumped his problem onto my lap and did not tip me. Do I report this activity to Trust and Safety at Lyft for them to potentially get rid of his account if he has a pattern of dumping problematic passengers in drivers' cars? Or do I hope that between telephone, television, and telehomo, he gets the picture that, he better tip. Especially when I come to find out that, like, oh, 3 drivers know who he is. 1 dated him.